Calling this meeting to order. Today is Tuesday, August 13th. It is 5:30 p.m. Who would please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Ms. Ariola, can you lead us?
Yes. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call.
Juan Castillo, President.
Present.
Lorena Delgado, Clerk.
Present.
Christina Clark, Member.
Present.
Luisa Ariola, Member.
Present.
Laura Torres, Member.
She-
We have a quorum.
Thank you, Mary. Moving on to 2.1. Do we have any comments from the audience?
No, we do not.
No comments from the audience. Thank you. Moving on to 3.1. Report from Mr. Duron.
Hello, everyone. This is really exciting to be here. This is my very first board meeting, and so I'm excited to be part of this district. I really want to thank all of you guys for being here. This is really important, not only for me, but it's really important for you guys to be here, part of our community, our district, and really just getting to know everything that we're doing for this particular school year. Really exciting news. I think we started our year really strong. I think the principals really appreciated the fact that I pulled you guys in for a couple of days in the summer, right, Ms. Middleton? And we really enjoyed working together for 2 days in our very first admin summit. It was 2 days of collaborating and really getting to know each other, not only to build that rapport that we needed to have as a team, but also we centered in our students' data. I think it was really important to set that baseline of having our school letters really getting a chance to really digging deep into the components and making sure that we understood, and that way we were able to set up our school goals within the next 2 weeks. Ms. Kim and I will be meeting with each principal to start going through their individual school plans. On another note, I've been able to meet with very important people throughout this past month. I've met with several community leaders. I met with the mayor, Jerry Anaya. I've also met with Mayor Nieves from San Luis. I also got the opportunity to meet with Mr. Lucky Arvizo from the Somerton High School, as well as Winnie Ortega and Vice Chief Men, Mr. White from the Cocopa Indian Tribe. And a lot of the commonalities between our conversations really revolved around communication, making sure that we have strong communication between all of the stakeholders, as well as making sure that we start focusing on what are we going to do as a district in regards to the growth that will be happening. Some of the conversations that we have with the mayor and also Louis Galaviz, our city manager, they really express how exponentially the growth within our community of Somerton is happening, as well as the growth within San Luis, Arizona, which also affects our district. That takes us to the bond, right? So after the bond was approved, a capital committee was put in place. They've been working really, really hard. They've been present in some of the school events to share information for our community. Currently, they're going through a timeline that they have to follow to ensure that we're meeting, deadlines to ensure that we're ready to go for the November election. This is something that they have to make sure that we follow. I know some of us were asking, like, hey, we don't see them in the streets, sharing information, but we need to make sure that we follow this, because even though November is kind of close, it's still kind of far away enough for people to forget about the bond. So there's all these strategies that they have to follow. But currently what they're working on is to send out sponsored letters for companies supporting our campaign. And so we'll be working on that this particular week. So that is the report for me.
Any questions or comments? No? Thank you, Mr. Duron. Moving on to 3.2, report from Ms. A.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to a great school year. I think we did start off really strong, a lot of fun. No dancing moves for you tonight, though. So we wanted to just share that we are getting our instructional programs off the ground. So 21st Century Grant was a grant that we wrote for last year, which, as you know, and so we're working with the 4 schools that received those grants, and we're just aligning all of our federal programs, funds, and the tutorial programs that would go along with that. So we're aligning that with Title IV as well. Excited to announce our sports activities are also getting off the ground. So we've got softball going, we've got wrestling going. I know the cheer club is getting, the cheer squad is getting off the ground. Not only our robotics and coding as well, so they're already in mobilization to get all of their activities rolling. And so it's really nice to see them coordinating all of those extracurricular activities, and the schools that have 21st Century, you know, we're really pushing the project-based and all of that good stuff. So there's a lot of fun things coming. So those are some good things. And I know there's a whole lot more that's out there. One other thing that we've got going is the ASU Fellowship, the Teaching Fellowship. So that is going to happen tomorrow, and that's a paraeducator program to support our paraeducators if they want to go into the teaching pipeline. So it's a really nice program. We've worked with Audrey Garcia, and so I know I had seen her last year at one of the conferences as well. So it's kind of nice to have that on our bandwagon. We also know we're going to be working with U of A, and then at times NAU also comes out. So we have all of these different venues. We want to make sure that we're supporting our staff to have that growth model in their life. So we're trying to grow our own. So with that being said, that's all I have. Are there any questions? Okay.
No? Thank you, Ms. A. Moving on to 4.1, board member reports and attendance. Ms. Ariola?
Thank you so much, Ms. Udron, for bringing, and Ms. A, for bringing that vibe, that welcome back breakfast. It just empowered me just to see all of you guys working together, you know, for the betterment of our community and accepting the change, and change is good, you know. So thank you for all that you guys are doing. I know it's not an easy job, especially after the pandemic. I'm a teacher myself, and, you know, feeling that ripple effect in the classroom, you know. And we're here to support you. Remember, take care of yourselves, because then that trickles down into the teachers and into the students. So thank you for your support.
Thank you, Ms. Ariola. Ms. Torres?
Hi, everybody. I'm sorry for being late. I trying to adjust to having kids in high school now and doing athletics, so it's hard. But anyway, it's about you guys tonight. Thank you so much for, like Ms. Arriola mentioned, just the culture, the feeling. It felt exciting and hopeful and positive, and I hope that you all have carried that through up to this point, and just, you know, grateful to still be here with you guys, and like she mentioned, here to support you. So if there's ever anything that we can do to support, feel free to approach any one of us, and you know, let us have those conversations. I know I mentioned laughing. I hope you guys have all had a lot of laughter and have had great experiences with students and have already started connecting and making relationships. So that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Torres. Ms. Clark?
Well, it goes without saying that welcome back was amazing, and that nurturing climate was present, and I hope it continues throughout the full year, because, you know, that's very important. Happy teachers make happy staff, make happy students, and all around, just if you're happy where you're at, well, you're just gonna do so much better. So thank you for that. And just piggybacking off what they say, anything that I can do for you, please feel free to reach out. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Clark. Ms. Delgadillo?
Because I'm going to echo what everybody said, and you're going to hear it one more time, but, you know, I do want to welcome everybody back. I strongly feel that this year is going to be not only great changes, but with all your help and your acceptance of changes that are coming between your new admins and the great team that they form. I know that this district is going to go beyond what it was years past. I too am an educator, so I know where you're coming from. So if you don't know who I am, I was a teacher for 10 years, and I continue to be a teacher, and I will always be one. I am currently a campus administrator for a college, and so education is fundamental, and I feel that it runs in my blood and in my family, and we're all educators, and I think that we are here as a whole to make the proper decisions that are needed for the best interest not only of you, but our community and our children. And I thank you for continuing to want to be part of this administration, because without you and your guidance, your teachers are lost. I was there once. I was a teacher that was lost. And so I made a point when I met with Mr. Duron to make sure that all principals and assistant principals and your coaches are there to mentor and to model, not just to instruct and point. And so I'm very confident that Ms. Say and Mr. Duron will guide everyone where it is needed. Thank you to all the staff for that great welcoming. You know, I could only stay for a little bit because I had a meeting I had to attend, and so but I saw a bunch of lives and I was on Zoom meeting on mute while I was watching the live. But that's a good thing about Zoom, that I could, put my camera off and watch the live as I try to listen over here. But thank you. It was great to see. Congratulations, TDS, for winning.
Yes.
I can see it was amazing, but all schools were great. So thank you so much. I also attended the new teacher induction, and it was great to see how they were happy to be there. Yes, they had to come back early, but it really isn't that early, and you get to leave early in May, and so I think there's a positive to that. Thank you, Mr. Duron, for forming part of our community. Thank you for embracing our community as well, as you are part of this community, and I as a board member, I would like to see you involved as you have always been. I've seen you even though you weren't our superintendent in our community, but that's what I like. I like families to see our leadership of our community, not only the mayor, but as we serve, Mr. Castillo and I serve on city council, to make sure that we are involved. And so, I thank you, Ms. Say, for embracing that as well, and for always being available for our questions. And welcome back. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Eladio. What can I say now, right? So no, really, Mr. Duron, welcome. I think this month and a half that you've been with us, I think it's been great. It feels wonderful. The welcome back event was also great. I loved every school's play. There had to be one winner, so great job, TDS. I also attended the new teacher and the administrative summit. I actually went one day, so I really like how you presented that data. So thank you for that and bringing that to everyone. I think it's important for us to understand the why. And even though I was only there for like 2 hours, I think the why was really it was hard to miss the why. And I've always said it. If you understand the why, the how and the what pretty much come naturally. So thank you for that, Mr. Duron and Ms. Say. Let me see. Let's see what else do I have here on my notes. And for the community outreach, really, I'm grateful that you've already met with our Mayor Anaya, with Chairwoman Cordova, Lucky Arvizo, Mayor Rydell. So, thank you for opening those lines of communication. I think that's something that, as a Somerton resident, we're like a big, like a close-knit family here within the community, and I think that's what makes us special here. So thank you for embracing that. And let me see. And I also want to, Mr. Duron and Ms. Delgadillo and I, we actually met last week. We met for about an hour and like 15 minutes. We just kind of discussed, things how things were, how things that he saw. We went over some expectations. So just wanted to let the board know that, last week, Ms. Delgadillo and I, we met with them. So that's all we have. That's all I have. So we're going to move on to 5.1, all principals report.
Let's start with Mr. Moreno. Let's B, yes. Trying to put him in order in my mind. So B goes first.
I'm ready. I made a list of things that. How much time do we have?
Go for it.
All the time you need.
3 minutes.
The reaction I was
3
hoping.
minutes.
3 minutes.
3 minutes. Let's-
No, I'm kidding. I don't like standing behind that. So, just off
I'm
the
just
back-
kidding on the time thing.
No, 3 minutes is fine. That's all I have. That was a side joke. That a little bit about the reaction I was looking for. You thought it was funny? Thank you. Thanks. Hey, well, thank you guys so much for inviting me. I just want to start off by really going off what you guys stated about the kickoff for our district. Mr. Ms. Hay promised us, or me, I'm not sure of other people, that they will do the lift at the next assembly, at the next, yeah.
30 seconds
Yep.
more.
30 more seconds more.
Yeah,
Okay.
you might have to wait a couple years.
Okay. I'm gonna have to stick around for that. And then we also filed a appeal to the judges already for the TDS winning the competition. And see, I was talking to George and he said there was a couple errors in there. So
Recount.
thank you for that. Just off the back, I just want to say that I am really lucky this year. I think I'm in the best district with the best team, and I've really enjoyed the support that I've had from not just the board or Mr. Duron, but my colleagues and my coworkers. As I embraced the elementary position at the beginning, I was like, oh my goodness, kinder kids, right? And so year 3, what a blessing it's been to have that experience. And the team that we've put together this year at Brave T. Soto, I am excited, and I love the energy they have. I really love the effort that they're putting forward to continue to make that school and build that culture. And I'm just really happy to work alongside with them to be able to do that with them, not just with our teachers, but our kids and our parents. We were blessed and lucky to be able to earn the rights to be called the National Showcase Schools for Capturing Kids' Hearts, is the cornerstone of everything we're trying to do, because with good, strong relationships between our parents, our teachers, our students, our admin, our leadership, everything else just kind of falls in there. We agree on a certain set of behaviors that we want, and all the surveys came back with that. So we're really excited that's happening, and hoping to repeat that again this year and learn from what we left off last year. As far as the kids, we were at 232. The 10-day drop is coming around, so we'll see where we're at. On the first day only, we had 11 kids absent, so that wasn't too bad. I'm not sure what those numbers are at right now. Our student council is up and going. We got an advisor. We have elections this Friday coming up, so that's exciting. The kids are coming up. The other thing is I look for leadership third through, or as soon as they can talk, and we get those people on the announcements. And we train them, and I found Damian Lara, who is a 3rd grader, and Ikari Lopez, who was a 6th grader, and they put my announcements together, and I just realized today that Damian speaks really good Spanish. So one of our cafeteria ladies, one of Capturing Kids' Hearts cornerstones is affirmations. So teachers write affirmations for each other, and one of the cafeteria ladies wrote it in Spanish, and Damian didn't even ask anybody. He read that thing in Spanish and was like, "Whoa, Damian, you speak Spanish?" He goes, "Sí, mi papá es mexicano." I'm like, I did not know that, Damian. Wonderful. Also, we hired our ESS teacher, and what a great addition. Thank you, Ms. Garza, and HR for expediting that process. She's been on board, and I told her I've been listening and watching, but I'm kind of keeping at a distance because I know you're getting a lot of support. And she literally is flying in there. She's not jumping in head first. She's literally flying in there and embracing the position. And she just told me today, which is really exciting, because Ana just told me that there's some funds for Florcórico at BTS. And she just told me, I'm like, did you speak to Ana? And she said, no, I love Florcórico. I'm like, well, we got a program, and she's going to, I'm like, you get settled into your class, and we'll start Florcórico. So I'm excited to bring those opportunities after school for the kids and just continue to make that a culture improving and just making it a better place for everybody. Any questions?
Questions? How's the traffic at dismissal?
It's a good question.
Oh my.
I've had some complaints already.
Okay.
It's the light at the turning lane is causing issues because parents, instead of waiting in the turning lane because it's backed up all the way to Cesar Chavez, they're taking right turns at the total way or crossing it and coming back and cutting people off. So I'm like, I'll call the cops. I'll tell them to look out there. And so I'm doing what I can. But we are getting better with the looper lane, so it's faster. By the way, we're at 14 minutes today, which is pretty good. Pretty good. We got a system down. So it is getting better in that sense. Once more houses and more people start going through that area around that time, I can see being a problem for Cesar Chavez because that turning lane goes all the way. It's only maybe a quarter of a mile, and the line's about that long.
Wow.
Okay.
Any other questions? No? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Let's have, yes.
Sí, pero hay que hablar con
Ms.
la
Arredondo?
chief. Hay que hablar con la chief. Needs to get better.
So I'm the lucky one to go after Mr. Moren. Good evening, everyone. My name is Mrs. Arredondo, and I'm the proud principal of Desert Sonora. So at Desert Sonora, we're fully staffed with very experienced veteran staff. I'm very lucky to say that. We do have one new teacher. She is a kindergarten teacher that although she's new to Desert Sonora, she comes with reading interventionist experience, 2 years. And she's just amazing. She really hit the ground running with those reading foundations. Desert Sonora, I was tasked with speaking about my first week or our first week, but I'd like to speak about what happened before that first week of school. The prior week, we met, teachers and strategists and myself, and we prepared for the school year. Before that, we met as admin. And so what a wonderful opportunity for all of us to really learn from our new leadership and really focus us on what matters most, which is our students. We prepared diligently, really focusing on student engagement with Kagan structures. We practiced ourselves, and they felt ready. They had some planning time, as well as every single day practice a Kagan structure, which is, it ignites that student engagement. And during that week, we also worked on data analysis to really get to know our students before they even entered the door. At our open house, we had 278 families attend. Our open house was structured into 2 sessions, and so we gave opportunities for parents to come in early or come in a little bit later based on their schedules. We introduced ourselves, our teachers, our counselor. Migrant department was part of that as well, supporting migrant families with supplies and information. And it was just a wonderful opportunity to begin building relationships. In our first staff meeting, which was that first week, our teachers wanted to share out how those first couple of days had gone. And this is what some of our teachers said. One teacher said, "Students are grade level ready." Another teacher said, "It doesn't feel like the beginning of the year. Students came ready to learn." But the one that really stood out was by a 6th grade teacher, with 6th grade seems to be the grade in elementaries that could be a little troublesome. He said, "I can't stop smiling." And what a wonderful thing to hear from him. And so I still see him with that grin on his face every single day. So as we shared those wonderful moments, this paved the way for all of us to give affirmations to each other, because we need those on a weekly basis. And so that's kind of like our motto now, is to always affirm each other no matter what. Our teachers and students have built their social contracts, and they are ready to have their CKH and PBIS assembly at the end of the month. We're working on selecting our student council. That's going on at our school. But what truly makes me the most proud is the fact that our DSS teachers and staff are committed to the success of all of our students. And I am looking forward to an amazing school year. From the beginning of that cheer, that now it's like a play or a song, they sang. They rolled with it. And I cannot say that I cannot do this without my instructional strategist, Mrs. Shepard. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Any questions or comments?
Any questions?
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
So I know Kagan strategies can be very, I don't know, when I went through it at Crane, it was difficult for me to embrace it because I was a veteran teacher and I was like, really, you want me to do that? And I don't know if that's, I didn't like it. And Because I know a lot of the veteran teachers, they're more reserved and they're so used to, but this Kagan is very, very hands-on, very different, and how was that embraced in your school?
So we selected a few to model.
Okay.
So we selected a few to model because, I come from the ideology that we have to model them for our teachers. First, Mrs. Shepard and I, during our meetings and PLCs, we used the popsicle sticks, we used the four corners, and those are the only ones that we've introduced thus far, about 3 or 4. And we're going to continue to use them. And when we see our teachers ready for more, or we see that they need support, that's when we'll come in and model them ourselves.
So you only selected a few?
Just a few for now,
okay.
because it is a world. Even
It
myself,
is.
like I've been a teacher myself, and it can be overwhelming.
Yes, it
But
is.
we selected 4 that we're going to utilize and rotate, provide feedback, support, and then we'll kind of take the temperature to see if we're ready for more.
Okay, because some can be very silly, but they work.
Yes, they do.
They work, and at first I was very hesitant because I was like, it's not going to work, but it works. And I brought it to the college, and now I make my instructors use it.
Awesome.
And even in the college environment, it worked. And I mean, we don't use many of them, but I just use ones that are for adults, right? But I just wanted to know how your staff, because I know most of them, and so they're veteran teachers, and so I just how did you embrace that? Great, that's great to hear.
Thank you. Any other questions?
What was your student count? I always
Our
like
student
to-
count
Yes.
right now or on the first day?
Well, I guess, has it been 10 days? Is
Right
it-
now, it is 405 students.
Awesome, thank you.
And we want to keep on growing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Arredondo. Ms. Escalante?
Good evening, Board President, Board members, Mr. Duro Mesay, and everyone in attendance. I'm Mrs. Escalante, Principal at Encanto Learning Center, and I'm just glad to be here today sharing good things that have happened these past 2.5 weeks, almost 3. Our first day of school went very well during arrival and dismissal. Our looper lane right now is at 16 minutes, so it's pretty good. And so it continues to be that way, and I hope that it continues forever and ever. And so we ended up having a good open house as well. We had our migrant advocates there too. We had our PTL, and then we had a representative from the bond too. So we had a good turnout there. And I know Mr. Duron and Ms. Say swing by a little bit. So thank you for visiting us. The first week of school,
So yes, thank you very much.
Thank you, ladies.
Any questions?
Questions or comments? Thank you.
I don't have a question for you, but Antonio, I'm just getting some information that they can't hear. They couldn't hear on the.
Oh.
Sorry, I have to ask about enrollment too.
Oh, 410.
410.
As this morning, it was 410.
Awesome.
Yes, yesterday was our 10th day, but I don't think we lost any students. They all, oh,
And
yeah.
then they came this morning.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
nice. 410. Awesome.
Yeah, and there's 3 more pending
Okay.
to register, so yeah, we're growing. So thank
Great.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So much. All right, so now let's have Ms. Middleton come and share.
Easier just to hold it. Good evening, Governing Board, Mr. Don, Ms. Say, and everybody that's in here. I'm super excited for the opportunity to get to share how our school year is going. The energy that you guys felt at our teacher get-together is the exact same energy that we have felt the first week of school. Teachers are excited, students are excited, and one thing that I'm most proud of is that at our school, we open the gates. So custodians don't open them, we do. So we have our counselor at one gate with one of our custodians, and Ms. Cash and I are at this gate, and the gates don't open until we're there, and we're there by 7:15 so we can open them, right? But there's not one kid that walks through those gates that doesn't get a fist bump, that doesn't get a high five, and it's just so cool. The bus drivers, I see all of them. If they have a problem, they come talk to us, but what an amazing way to start the day, and it has just been something that when I started at Orange Grove, I was like, I'm gonna make this happen, and I'm going on year 4, and it is still happening. We open the gates, we make sure that we bring everybody in, and part of that, I think, is just being a showcase school. So super excited. This is our 5th year, so we finally got, we hit the big 5 for our 5th year of being a national showcase school. One thing that we're really focusing on this year with that is that we have everything in place as far as good things and as far as greetings, but our focus is really empowerment, right? Empowerment for the teachers, empowerment for the students, and we tell the kids and the staff over and over that we do that in the home, we do that in the community, and we do that in our schools. So I'm super excited that we are starting our penny wars already. So every quarter we do an outreach, and our penny wars, our student council has decided that it's gonna go for the Humane Society. So if you feel the urge to come and visit us, bring some pennies so you can drop it in the penny jars. Last year, we did it to the Native Americans, a club that they had, and it was for the veterans, and we raised $675 for them. So it's super fun. The kids know it's coming, and they're really excited about it. The other thing that I wanted to share is, as far as empowerment goes, we have our social contracts are up. We have ambassadors already in every classroom, so please come visit us. Our ambassadors get so excited to have greeters come into their classrooms. And this week I was going around and taking some pictures and what's your favorite wood on here and what does this mean? And one of the 3rd graders said she's been waiting her whole life to be an ambassador, and she finally got chosen on the very first time. So I thought that was really cute. We also have recess coaches, so we empower our 6th graders to be recess coaches, so they go out during K2 recess, and they're trained by Mr. Fermanes. So one will do like soccer, one does jump ropes, one does basketball, and they're really the leaders there, and they show them how to play the games respectfully and responsibly and safe, and they really look forward to that, and they know, they look at the clock, they know when they get to leave their classroom, and we rotate those. So that's really fun to see those out there. The other thing that we started for empowerment is that we have buddy classes. So those are starting next week, and it means that we pair up a teacher. And so like a 6th grade teacher might be with a 1st grade teacher, but I pair them. But the fun thing is that they can have one day a month up to once a quarter, they decide, but they get to do a fun activity with them. So the first one that we always do is we come in and the buddies read together. So that's our first one that's gonna be happening this month. Our systems are in place, we've tested, and we're ready. Our interventions start on the 28th. We're having our first assembly next month for our showcase school. All of our students are going to be getting popsicles, and then we're also going to have our student of the month and our citizenship awards. So some just fun, exciting stuff that's happening. I know everybody's doing it, but the empowerment of having leaders on your campus that can run your school, that's when you can get to the good stuff. And I feel like we're finally there, and it's exciting that's the movement that we have. The other thing that I wanted to share is we had our first student council meeting already. So we have 32 students that are a part of our student council, and we have our 4 officers, and of course they have to run and they have to give a little speech if they want to be the representative. So that was really fun. So lots of cool things going on. I could share just, a lot of things, but for me, I think the most important thing is that we continue to empower each other, our students, good energy, good vibes, because ultimately we got to teach our kids. And our kids have to be able to hit those standards, and those kids, we want them to succeed in an ever-changing world, because it's always changing, right? And so that's what we're doing, and I'm just excited to start my 4th year. And we have 411 students as of this morning.
And what's your looper lane time?
15 minutes. Was that a good number? No, just kidding. It's about 15 minutes. Yeah.
Yours is 14. You're winning, yeah.
So, any questions?
No?
I challenge you guys to please come and see us over in Orange Grove. I feel like we're a school that gets the least amount of visitors, but our kids are just dying to show off everything that we're doing. Also, as a showcase school, we invite people that are also starting to become showcase schools. So last year we had Crane come and see us. We had Yuma District 1 come and see us. So come see us. It gives our kids practice too, to know what it's like to be able to talk and present and talk to people about all the good things that we're doing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
SMS, Mr. Rascon and Ms. Castro.
Buenas tardes. Good evening. Well, we had a great start of a school year. Myself, I'm part of a new team and part of the new school in the new district. So first of all, we would like to thank all directors and district personnel, starting from Esperanza, Antonio with Tech, Laura with our finance. I had to be good friends with Laura. Lydia, Miss Ana Fernández supporting our team, Ms. Garza with our SPED department and our ESS. So grateful for all the support. My team of administrators also, I've reached out for help and they've been there for me. So very grateful and very welcome to be part of the team. I appreciate the board and the administration for the trust that you guys have on me and part of my team. Ms. Olivia, Ms. Santana, she's here. Mr. Flores, we brought the whole crew. Vénganse. Yes.
Are they going to dance?
I think they're going to finish our dance.
Todos juntos, we're always together. And also great help and support and guidance from Ms. Castro as my right hand. Very grateful to have her as part of our team. And then it's been great. It's been great at SMS. Part of what we're going to be handing our board members is we've been working really to enhance our culture and our environment at our campus. And part of it, we've been having really great feedback. And our theme this year, I know it was a night flight during our welcome back, but it was the lights were supposed to be on as the flight was actually flying in. But just as part of our theme, it's on board that we have for this year. And we gave each of our staff members an onboarding plane. And again, we welcome you guys also on board on our campus and with our mission. Our mission of our campus is not only our superintendents already have their plane. But more than anything is having our staff on board, having our students on board, and that's mainly what we've been working on at SMS. Also, you're going to get a copy of our handbook. We also worked on enhancing for the middle school the handbook because we want it to be a live document. And part of what we've been doing these past 2 weeks is also making that connection and enriching pretty much a culture and the environment with our students, making sure that they know what's expected of them, that they know that we're there for them, and building our social contracts with CKH. We've been embracing that at our campus, and our students are very they've been advocating for themselves. They want to change their schedule. They've been wanting to change their classes. They've been advocating as to what they want. They want mirrors in the restroom, and they've been very vocal, and that's good. It's part of that environment that they feel safe to come out to the teachers and any staff member to seek that support. Our enrollment right now is at 709. We started with 724. That was our starting count. We had our Welcome Back Assembly. It was Special Olympics theme. Our teachers did a bunch of activities as our students watched. We did many giveaways. We had our Campesinos Thrive to Thrive program on our campus, also promoting the program that we have. If you guys see on the cover page, you'll see that's what's new at SMS. We have Minga, and you'll see Minga a lot on our social media. We've had really good feedback from our parents and our community. We've increased over 300% in our interactions on social media. Minga is going to be a digital hall pass, and that's really going to help with supervising and student safety on our campus, but it's also going to support the incentive part of students. So instead of getting a paper PVIS ticket, now it's all digital. So now they have digital cash to cash out for the Cobra store. So that's going to be part of what we purchased with that Minga platform, and it's going to help monitor students out on our campus, where every teacher and everyone's going to be able to track our students throughout campus with that tool. We also have Thrive, which is coming on board on this year with us, and that's starting on September 9th. So our Thrive top program is starting September 9th, and that's going to be a 20 plus week program that is going to enhance our students as well. We also have ABEC, which is our career exploration. We're going to continue to work with the high school to embrace more of those CTE courses, which our students are going to eventually get with Mr. Alrizo and Mr. Barrios at Somerton High School. We incorporated 2 additional electives, sports medicine, and we also brought in the Drive automotive, Drive RC cars that we're also, Mr. Flores has a project on our back lot on our campus, and we're working on that racetrack that is going to be coming up soon. We also have our family consumer science that's already been in place, and our STEM class, and other electives that we have. Also, we incorporated student council as one of our electives, also part of the big interest that we have, and you guys have probably seen our student council members doing those little commercials on our social media, and that's part of that student agency that we're trying to push on our students. And what did I miss, Ms. Castro? Safety, we had already our SRO giving a presentation to our staff about substance abuse and different things to look out to ensure that we're all on the same page. We had Amberley's Place at our campus to start off, and we had really great trainings happening to start off the year, and overall our students and our staff are happy, which is good. We want to make sure that they're happy, and then I'll give Ms. Castro a chance to see whatever I missed.
I think you said it all, Mr. Rascon. Good evening, everyone. Our coaches here want you to know that we conducted our first COPs. That's our cluster meetings. So they went great. They have been analyzing data. So we thank you for all your support, and that's it. You gave us 2 minutes, right?
That's great. Yeah.
We need to crunch it all into those 2 minutes. Any questions for us?
Questions? Go ahead.
I don't have a question, but I do have a comment for Mr. Rascon and Ms. Castro. Thank you very much for your time regarding one of your, I guess she's not a volunteer, but a coach that has taken on that passion that she shares with our community and for softball. And thank you for listening. Thank you for addressing the concerns that we have. And as a community member myself, you know, I feel that sports and extracurricular activity, from chess to debate team to whatever teams you have at your school, is so important to get our kids involved. You know, I thank you for giving the time. And yesterday I attended one of her practices, and you know, the parents were very receptive, very welcoming, and you know, I was very proud to see that. I was kind of disappointed that there wasn't a lot of girls participating, but I still feel that it's going to grow to what was lost before. I think with the unity of the city of Somerton as well, her focus is to unite them with the city of Somerton to create a league. And so thank you. I wanted to publicly thank you for that.
Thank you. And yes, part of what we're doing not only with our campus is also with the enrichment of that after-school program with sports, making sure that our coaches have everything that they need to be successful, and we're working to get them also the equipment that they need, and also our cheer program, making sure that we were part of the cheer coach booster meeting. We were there present, both Ms. Castro and myself, also to be present for the parents and be also representing our school and our district, and also support as much as we can that program. Because they're very great programs that we have at SMS, so we want to make sure that we're there, we're present, and we do as much as we can to support.
I was a bit disappointed to see the inventory that SMS has for that particular sport, and it was very heartbreaking to me, just to see. I mean, it was incredible when I saw the inventory that she did, and
So we're in the process of doing those inventories and seeing what we have, and with the background that I have from being an athletic director, I know where we're going. So just give me some time, and we'll make sure that our sports, our teams have what they need to be successful, and we'll get there.
Yeah, and I think it is important, that for from one sport to the other, for the clubs, that they have what they need, especially in that age. That way they can also participate with our city and the programs that we have within the city. Thank you.
Thank you. I just wanted to add, as a now new middle school mom, Tiger, she misses OGS so much. She's like, Mom, we had way more recesses. She says the food was better. I know, I'm like, it's the same menu, but, and she misses being a student coach. I miss those stories of coming home. But yeah, I mean, thank you all for what you're doing. And, on another note, thank you for being so receptive to community programs, and I think that's only going to enrich, our students and our families in the whole community. So thank you for what you guys are doing.
I have a comment. Watching your student council clips over the summer, they are such naturals. It was so refreshing to see them. It didn't seem like they were, well, obviously they practiced and were coached, but it was just awesome to see such enthusiasm on their part to show the kids like the do's and the don'ts and all that stuff. Thank you guys for that.
Even I don't know if you guys saw the teachers and the staff during our trainings. They did the color party parade. They did the do's and don'ts for dress code. So it's part of that energy that we're bringing to SMS.
Awesome. Thank you.
Mr. Munoz with SBS.
So good evening, Board President, Board members, Mr. Duron, Ms. A, audience. I'm the proud principal of SVS, the largest school in Somerton School District in Avenue F. Just a little history of our school. This is our third year. Our first year, our teachers were enjoying life. We only had about 90 students, 90-something students, so classrooms of maybe 6, classrooms of 8. I think our largest classroom the first year was like about 13. So we did great. We ended up getting our students from the Gadsden School District, beautiful students. This last year was a little bit different for our teachers. We ended up getting 247 students compared to 90. Our classrooms were 32, 30, 28, 29. I don't think we had anything lower than that except for kinder. And this year, again, we had a total of 266 students registered in Power School at the beginning of the school year. We ended up, I think, with after the 10th day, 253. So our open house also, we had over 150 parents there. Great success. We had a lot of parents, and the students are very happy. Our first day of school also went very well. We had about 5 criers. All of them were parents. None of them were students. The students walked in there, gracefully said, okay, bye, Mom. The mom, but it went beautiful. We had our PBIS assembly last Wednesday, and we also mimicked the same presentation that we did at Open House. We did it for our students, and they loved it. We had 2 assemblies. We had a K2, we had a 3-6, and our students were just enjoying what you saw at at the welcoming. That's what our students saw for PBIS. Tomorrow we will be having our student council elections already, so we're very excited. Starting this Monday, We're going to have our tutorials. We want to thank, I want to also thank all the departments that have helped us. I want to thank Anna Fermanis also, who met with me and said, you know, I already had told everybody we didn't have funding for after-school tutorials, and she presented a plan to, so because of that plan, we're going to start tutorials on Monday for our K-6 students. We also will be starting our robotics. We have our new teacher coming in tomorrow, Ms. Baltasar, and then we have our folkloric also that's going to be up and running as well. So we're very excited about that. And we're also very excited because Ms. Garza found a gem. I mean, our ESS teacher, wow, for our life skills and resource, she is precious. I mean, she loves our students. Our students love her. We're seeing a lot of growth there, so it's beautiful to see our students. And we're definitely we're including our ESS students in every activity that we have, and they're so happy, and it's just so joyful. So we're doing great at SVS. Our parents are very, I love the difference when I was a principal at ELC and now that SVS, very seldom would I get complaints from parents at ELC. And to many that may say, well, that's a good thing. At SVS, I get parents that do complain, but I love the way they do it. Their suggestions are legit. Their concerns are legit, and because of that, I tell the parents, they'll come in saying like, you know, we hate to bother you, or please, I tell them it's never a bother. We definitely want to make sure we fix it. So, and it's not a whole bunch of parents. I think maybe in the two years that I've been in San Luis, we maybe have gotten maybe 5 or 6 parents that have come in with concerns, and again, very legitimate concerns that at the end of the day improve our school as well. So we also would like to welcome you to come in and visit us. We have given Mary all of our PTO dates as well. Our day is always, our PTO is always the last Wednesday of every month. And we're very appreciative to Mr. Duron, who has been visiting our school quite frequently. We're very happy for it. He's able to see some of the closets where we put some of our students in there. We grew from the very first year, just 2 kinder classes, and all the other classes were 1. Second year, we had 2 kinders, 2 first grade. This year, we have 2 kinders, 2 first grade, 2 second. The second classroom is the one that we put in one little area where it didn't have a ceiling. And then somebody suggested, put him in the lounge. It has a ceiling, it has an intercom. We put him in the lounge. Mr. Duron got to see them. The kids are happy. The kids are happy. Now they have AC, they have their TV, and they have intercom and everything else. And we put all the teachers out there in that one room. We put all the teachers. That's where we made our new lounge right there. So, and they're happy as can be as well. So thank you very much. Again, our student numbers right now are 254, I believe, 253 is where we're at. Where our loopers, we have a lot of parents that pick up their kids. We're at, I think, the first week we were at 30, then we reduced to 25, now we're at 20. So we're getting there, Mr. Moreno. Any questions?
I have a question.
Okay.
Do we have like a wait list right now?
Yes, we do. Oh, we definitely do. We have a lot of parents waiting.
How many do we have?
We have about maybe 20 on the waiting list, but a lot of parents that say that as soon as the additions are ready, they're going to move their kids. A lot of them have been inquiring, and at the end of the day, they'd rather stay there because of the transportation. They're the one their kids go into transportation, and we always offer that as well. But yeah, we do. We're completely full right now.
Go ahead.
I thought the cap was 250. I know at 253.
Yes,
but,
it's supposed to be 250, but some of our class sizes that came from last year, our classrooms were at 30, 32. They kind of went down a little bit, but yeah, we're at 254, I believe.
a teacher having 30 plus students, that's very difficult.
Yeah. They have good class sizes though. Our teachers are amazing. I have not heard one teacher complain about and the students that are coming from San Luis, literally, they're beautiful students. We have not had, knock on wood, thank God and everything, we have not had any behavior issues. We have beautiful students, and we have beautiful parents as well, very supportive. So I think because of that, our teachers are capable of being able to teach. Also because of the extra FTEs that we had, we were able to get four IAs that we're pushing into the classroom. We have 2 per classrooms coming in, 2 in kinder, and then they rotate all the way to 6th grade. We were able to also fund another part-time IA, and then through that, the one that was funded through Mr. Duron and the team, that helps us with duties and that. So we're pretty good as far as interventions. We're doing pull-outs, we're doing push-ins. And we're putting them wherever we can. There's no space. If you go and see there, we really don't have room. We don't have storage room. We don't have anything. I think we're getting a container that that's coming in that's going to help us with storage and things like that. But our teachers are very, very amazing. I mean, and not one has complained about the size of the students. And just to give you an example, I had a parent come in that they wanted to insist to have their kids in there, and I told them, I'm sorry, we don't have any room. Actually, the secretary did. When I walked out there, what the parent said, is that the director? She goes, yes. Can I speak with you? Of course, I said yes. So she showed me a video of her son being bullied at the Gadsden School District, badly bullied. And so I said, can you hold off? We were completely, so I went with my teacher and I said, look, we have this situation, and the teacher said, I know you're already full, you're at 31, but I'm just letting you know it broke my heart. And she said, bring him in. I said, wait a minute. It's also an ESS student. She said, bring him in. And we brought him in. This student has been happy as can be. That's a reflection of our teachers. They're really gold. I mean, they're beautiful hearts. They're there for the students. And last year, we did our baseline. If you were to see our Dibbles baseline, it's really rock bottom. But if you were to see the end of the school year, especially in Dibbles, K2, we were high. And just kinder alone was over 90%. First grade was at 77%. Second grade was over 60%. Those are the students going into third grade, fourth grade, and fifth grade, and so forth. Even if you were to look at our ASA scores, if you were to look at them, compared to where we got them, we saw great growth right there. And I know that next year, because this is our true baseline from last year, these are the kids that we have again this year. I know that the growth is going to be phenomenal. I really do. So, any other questions?
Mr. Duran, I just said, you said right now we're at 253,
253 or
right?
54, huh?
So I think our capacity is 250.
It is.
So I think I want to make sure that we're not in a position of liability.
I get that.
In any sense. I mean, I think we would want to welcome all the students possible, but I think it's very important that we make sure we are at the legal limit that it is, so that we're not. Again, we don't want to be in a position of liability.
I get that, and we are definitely going to look at that. Also, we were waiting on the 10th day to look at numbers and look at possible FTEs for some of the schools. So we're definitely going to look into that.
And if we have to transfer any 3 or 4 students, we'll let you guys deal with the parents.
Yeah, I mean, we gotta follow, gotta adhere to our policy.
I understand. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Last but not least, please, TDS.
You guys have to dance since you were the winner.
Yeah.
What's that?
You have to dance.
Oh, we have to dance. Oh.
Don't see the big faces.
As long as I'm not asked to sing, right? Good evening, or to our board members and our superintendents and everyone in attendance. Definitely we're last, and it's either a role that I have to have everyone wake up at this point, I have that job, or that my presentation's not gonna flow. Because I have chicken scratch, I'm like, oh, that was a good idea, right? So, Ms. Sullivan, bear with me because I did make some additions, okay? But I will start off with our student enrollment numbers, Ms. Torres. We have 578, and 2 were registered today and 3 that are pending for registration tomorrow. I do want to give a public and a shout out to our front office secretaries, Ms. Alvarado and Ms. Azueta, as it's new to TDS to be with 2 secretaries and still enrolling, high numbers. So thank you to our ladies. I will also share that our border crossing, our looper lane, is right now at 25 minutes. I want to thank Martin and his department as we recycled a beautiful $30,000 shade. I think it's 30,000. Martin, it cost around that much. But it's been sitting behind our art room, and there was really no use, okay? So we thought, let's recycle that and put that in our second loading zone in our looper lane. So there's some internal shuffling we're gonna do, and thank you to, again, Martin and the crew for making sure that we put better use to that canopy, okay? I just really resonate, and I'm just very proud of all of our schools and our principals in terms of the start of the school year. There's no difference at TDS. I do value the time that our district staff planned for us as a summit, leadership summit, because being a rule follower, I want to make sure that we streamline all efforts, so I'm always keen in observing and what direction we're going, so that when my teachers and my families hear those messages, they know the background and why it's happening. So that's something that I really embrace, and we got together as an SOS team supporting our Sun Dragons team in really organizing and planning our team building activities and our community building very purposeful this year. And we didn't want it to be looking at social media, you have all these posts about coming back to school, all those mandatory trainings, and really, the honeymoon stage, right? So we need our fire to keep going this year. TDS needs to become an A school. So we brought our motto, Firing It Up. We're still looking, so if anyone wants to come up with a catchy acronym for Firing It Up, but for right now, it's all fire, okay? So with that said, really saw the need to look at our Kagan structures and our groupings with the adults, and it's really become something that we're embracing for every professional development and every staff meeting that we do, because we're getting to know that our kinder teachers need to get to know our sixth graders, our fine arts teachers with our instructional assistants. So really designing that every time we meet, for a purpose. So with that said, I know that the board has 3 goals, and that's really where it all started, in mimicking what is out there for us. And all of our teachers came up with their academic goals as a school. Also one for professional development and collaboration, really looking at that collaboration, and then one with climate. Okay, so that's really what's going to be part of our objectives when it becomes our PD sessions or our collaboratives, that it's always connected to one of those goals or a few of those goals. Okay, with our teachers, something that when I speak about becoming an A school again, I can't really say enough that we've been there before. I know it can be done. We say bring it back, bring back that A. One of the things that I want to thank our district is, and Mr. Moreno's going to know this quote, it's delegate authority without giving up responsibility. And that was from Dr. Lewis from NAU. And that quote really resonates this year, because we talk about empowering and guiding our teachers. And I wanted to make sure that our teachers and our students don't feel that they weren't doing something, okay? It's always taking the responsibility as the school leaders to say, you know what? They need our guidance, and they need that focus, to prioritize for them. So one of the first evidence as a school is the role that our strategists play. By allowing them to, it was crazy to know that they could not do, the recommendation to not have them in the duty schedule. I was like, whoa, right? But, it's the first weeks of school, and just shifting that role has really given us that evidence. When I think of the reduction that TDS has gone through, and those structures and those definitions of roles really are allowing us to work at a faster pace. And the evidence of that is that we started small group instruction day 3 of the school year. So we were able to start our small group with old data. So like Ms. Krabs said, she was in charge of assessments. So our strategists were doing assessments while still supporting teachers with that old data, so that our students are not blank slates. They're coming in with already set skills and knowledge. So we were like, hey, we don't need to wait, for the new DIBELS data, for the new ATI data. So that's something to celebrate. So our strategists will continue to work with our teachers, and definitely Ms. Sullivan and I are hand in hand with them. With our students, we got super excited because we started with our Capturing Kids' Hearts and our Positive Behavior Intervention Support monthly assessment. I want to thank our Orange Grove and BTS as sister schools, as they being recognized as showcase schools. Really kind of ignites that fire. I guess fire is the word of the day today. Ignites that fire to make that commitment to meet with our students monthly in a different feel, make it fun. So we've designed those assemblies to highlight the character trait for that month, affirmations and glows for teams. Building that capacity where our students are leading the assemblies and our grade levels. We started with a video that 3rd graders created last year to launch this year's assemblies. And then also identify the focus areas in our school. We're going to be very, very courageous, and we're going to try to get all K through 6 in the cafeteria. Okay, we feel that at the same time, we feel that that's what's missing at TDS. Like I said, we're not here to reinvent the wheel. It's more of like, hey, you know, what can we do better? What can we improve? So I feel that coming together once a month for a time to celebrate and recognize is what our students need, and they get to see older students as models, and our younger students to bring back that love for learning, right? So those are going to be, if schedule permits, the last Wednesday of the month. So you guys are more than welcome to join us. And I can keep talking, and it just makes me very proud to keep the fire going at TDS. And I will have Ms. Sullivan share some more highlights about our Sun Dragons.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Mrs. Sullivan. I'm the assistant principal, and you said that we couldn't have a PowerPoint presentation, so I brought artifacts instead. One of the great things that we've been working on, and this is last year's evidence, so this is not this year, but if you're taking a look at our box, and I can pull one out, you can see that we have 10 frames, and all of these are different students. So, of course, in our school, we have what's called hot being goods, and that is when a student is found to be doing something well. It's always related back to the 3 R's, and for many years we did that. We would do those announcements in the morning. We would recognize them, but over time, as more and more would come in, we couldn't keep up with the number of students to recognize. So one of the things that we started last year was a 10 frame. And we thought it was really simple. It related back to their math piece. And so each of these is a sticker of a time when a student was caught doing something well. They're able to put it onto their 10 frame, and then their 10 frame becomes something that they can then turn in. And we were doing chips, we had books, we had pencils, different things that they could earn. Well, you can see this is just last year alone that they're packed in here. They're hard to be able to fit in terms of the number of students that we were able to recognize. One of those pieces that we're extending then this year is how can we recognize them in additional ways. So one of those is with school-wide. We have classroom ambassadors, now we have school-wide ambassadors. So just like Ms. Middleton talked about standing out in the front and greeting those students, we have students now 4th through 6th grade who are volunteering, they're applying, they want to be greeters, and they're already standing outside, they're learning those skills of how to shake a hand and look someone in the eye, welcome them into the school. And the ones we have right now could be cheerleaders all by themselves. They're not afraid. I would have been nervous. The other thing that we have going on with this is trying to pull in our staff. So it's not just teachers recognizing students, but we have golden awards. I know that I believe ELC also does something similar. With those golden awards, it's an opportunity for our staff that sometimes are behind the scenes to also help recognize our students doing the right thing. So we have a golden broom, and that is with our custodians who recognize the classrooms who are doing a great job. We have a golden whistle, and that is for our staff members outside at recess time. And we have a new whistle procedure that they're doing, so we're ensuring that equipment's getting picked up. We'll call it the golden paddle, but it's not an actual paddle like something bad. It's our fine art, so it has a paintbrush and a book and some different things on there for our fine arts. And then we have the golden spoon for our cafeteria. And so every 2 weeks, those staff members are reporting back and nominating those classrooms that really stand out. The kids get excited because they get to put their award outside their classroom for everyone to be able to see and to be able to share with that. And so already, as being a school of dragons, we do dragon awards for classrooms. We already have been able to award 27 classrooms with 100% uniform and 30 classes with perfect attendance just in the first 2 weeks alone, which is an awesome start. So we're really, really excited. And then I think that creates that climate, which now in turn with that 21st century program coming to our school, we're super excited because now we get to take what's already working during the day and really extend that into that project-based learning, that hands-on learning, where kids are gonna get to sit and they're really gonna have fun, but have fun in a way that maybe they don't always get to see during the school day, and really kind of make that something that we can enrich and have fun with. So we're excited.
Thank you so much.
Questions?
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you so much.
Moving on to consent agenda. Does anybody have a question or wish to pull something from consent agenda? Ms. Delgadillo?
I have a question on 6.20. I don't know if you want me to ask
You can ask it.
What is the extracurricular fee? I don't remember. Is it like, are we charging
I'm sorry.
the extracurricular fee for 6.20? Approval extracurricular fee schedule? Are we charging students? Are we charging parents? Are we charging?
So we're not charging, but when they use their tax credit donations, the state requires us to do like kind of a dollar fee type of thing in order to spend it, but somehow they offset the cost with something else. So it's just something that we have to put in place in order to use the tax credit donations. But no one's being charged for any of the trips.
So if I give my tax credit to SMS softball team, only $5 is gonna go to it, or how does?
No. They'll get the entire thing. This is just what we're telling the state that we're gonna, per se, charge to use the tax credit donations.
Okay.
It's a requirement, but we don't charge it.
It's just a.
It's just a technicality.
Formality.
Yes. Yes.
I was gonna say, so why have it then if we're really not gonna apply it? Because the state requires it. The state requires it.
In order to use your tax donations at the school site, you have to go through like a little check sheet, and that you have to be able to say, yes, a fee is,
Considered, yeah.
given, assessed, in order to use the funds, but then we waive it. We're not gonna actually charge the students. It's an odd thing, but in order for us to say yes, because if one of those says no, then you can't use the funds.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have.
Okay. If there's no more questions, then I need a motion.
I have a comment. So I have to recuse myself from 6.10.
Yes.
Okay, so then what we can do is let's,
Why would she? There's no financial benefit to her.
I was
Right.
instructed in the past, any vote for,
I think in the past you have
right.
abstained, so I think what we can do is we can pull 6.10,
separate.
and then we'll just do it separate. So just need a motion with pulling 6.10.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda as stated, but pulling 6.10 to revisit that after we do the motion.
Okay, so motion was made by Ms. Delgadillo,
Second?
second by Ms. Clark. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Okay, motion carries. Now moving to consent agenda item 6.10, approval of MOU between Campesinos Sin Fronteras and Somerton Middle School to Thrive 2024-2025.
Make a motion to approve consent agenda 6.10.
Motion was made by Ms. Delgadillo,
Second?
second by Ms. Clark. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Anyone abstain?
I abstain.
Motion carries. Moving on to 7.1, discussion, consideration, and possible action to approve or deny the release teacher from contract FY 24-25 effective 8/13/2024.
We have two of these items for you. So this is the first one in the executive content. You'll see more information.
Any questions or comments? Need a motion?
So moved.
Motion was made by Ms. Delgadillo,
Second.
second by Ms. Torres. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. 7.2, discussion and possible action to waive or fine 1% of teachers' FY 24-25 contract.
So based on your schedule there, this individual would have a 1% liquidated damages fee, and the amount is listed there for you. So if you assess the fee, which is the motion of the admin to assess the fee, or you can waive the fee based on your decision.
And I have a question, and just based on prior in the past experiences, your recommendation is to
Assess the fee.
to assess the 1%, right?
Mhm.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Need a motion?
Make a motion to approve, to assess the fee of 1% for the teacher that we are releasing a contract for.
So motion was made by Ms. Delgadillo,
Second?
second by Ms. Clark. All those in favor say aye.
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 Nay.
Hold on, Ms. Irela. So all of those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed?
Nay.
Nay.
So I'll do a roll call.
Juan Castillo,
Aye.
Lorena Delgadillo,
Aye.
Cristina Clark,
Aye.
Laura Torres,
Nay.
Luisa Ariola,
Nay.
Okay. Motion carries. Moving on to a 7.3, discussion, consideration, and possible action to approve or deny the release of teacher from his contract FY 24-25 effective 8/13/2024.
This is our second teacher that has asked to be released from their contract effective today. It's a first-year teacher, so the next item. we'll
That's
talk
the next
about that,
item.
yeah.
Any questions or comments? Need a motion?
Make a motion to release this individual from his contract.
Motion was made by Ms. Delgadillo,
Second?
second by Ms. Clark. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to a 7.4, discussion and possible action to waive or fine $1,500 to teacher for release of FY 24-25 contract.
So this is based on the first-year teacher and your schedule that you have there for liquidated damages. And so the recommendation of the administration would be to charge the $1,500 fee.
And again, as Pana said, this is standard procedure for us. In the past, we've always assessed this fee for any individuals that
Yes.
fit this situation, right?
Yes.
Okay. Any questions or comments?
I would just like to comment that I am, reading the executive content.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you, Ms. Torres.
I'm sorry, I've always told to speak louder. I just wish them well. I know that returning to pursue higher education or any type of personal, academic, or professional goal, I just hate to hinder. I know contracts are made. I know that they sign. I just, personally, I just would like to wish them well, and so that's my only comment.
Thank you, Ms. Torres. Any other questions or comments? Need a motion? I'll make the motion to fine $1,500 to the teacher for release of the FY 24-25 contract.
Second.
So motion was made by Mr. Castillo, second by Ms. Delgadillo. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed?
Nay.
Let's do a roll call.
Juan Castillo,
Aye.
Lorena Delgadillo,
Aye.
Cristina Clark,
Aye.
Luisa Ariola,
Nay.
and Laura Torres.
Nay.
Okay. Motion carries. Moving on to 7.5, discussion and possible action to open a 21st century specialist position in FY 24-25.
So as you guys know, we have 4 schools who will be getting 21st century funding. It's up to $500,000, and this will support the efforts of after-school tutorials, extracurricular activities, a summer school program, and so we are recommending to hire a 21st century specialist to support and making sure that all of our schools are in compliance.
Any questions or comments? Ms. Delgadillo?
Is this specialist an added-on responsibility to a teacher, or you're hiring separately?
This is a separate position. It would be at the district level, supporting the district level kind of documentation that this particular grant requires.
So it's not a part-time status. You're bringing somebody on. So is this grant-based, temporary, So the individual will be informed that, guess what, maybe next year you won't have a job?
Yes, this is a grant-based opportunity for someone who would be coming in.
And if I'm not mistaken, the 21st Century Grant, it's for 5 years.
5 years.
That is 5 years.
Okay.
And the grant will fund the position, right?
Correct. This will be grant funded.
And this position will be under who?
This position will be under myself and also Lydia Rodriguez, which is federal grants.
I'm sorry, let's make a note that Ms. Ariola left at 6:51. Sorry.
Okay, I'm trying to understand, so this is like an assistant or?
No, this is, so basically, this is a really big grant. And so even as the grant was being written, it was written to make sure that we have a 21st Century District-wide coordinator. But we felt that because only 4 of the 7 schools received it, we thought let's kind of, go in between and hire a 24th Century specialist. This particular specialist would work directly under myself and Lydia to ensure that all the compliance paperwork is really submitted on time, because it requires a lot of timely reporting and making sure that there's, especially after the summer, there's a lot of paperwork that must be done at the district level.
Okay. Are they required to have a teaching degree?
No.
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 It's
So-
more clerical.
To your point, we will have site coordinators that are additional assignments at the sites, so those individuals will be certified, and then we do have to plan like a clerk, a clerical person, so, but those will be an additional assignment. So then they'll compile that information, bring it to the specialist, and the specialist is the one that will manage, make sure the information, the financial part of the grants and compliance pieces.
So this person will not be running 21st Century?
No.
It's more of a,
Yeah, it's a
Clerk.
specialist equal to our other specialists within our office that manages that program.
okay.
And make sure they work closely with Lydia and Mr. Duron to make sure all those compliance pieces and since it's a new program, make sure all that is happening correctly throughout the 4 schools.
Because they'll have to work with GME, the grants, management. They'll have to do all of the compliance uploads and
The actual program, curriculum, project-based learning, it's all really going to be managed by the site coordinator. And obviously, we'll have clerical support as well for timesheets and whatnot that happens at the sites. But, the professional development and all that will be done by the site coordinator.
Thank you.
And it was discussed to get a specialist instead of a coordinator, just because we want to ensure that most of the funds go
back to
towards
the
the schools, right?
Yes.
Yes, that is correct.
Awesome. Any other questions or comments? Need a motion?
So moved.
Motion was made by Ms. Delgadillo,
Second.
second by Ms. Clark. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. The reason why we raise our hand is for the
you.
video.
So they can see who.
7.6, discussion and possible action to approve the salary schedule FY 24-25.
So this is a housekeeping item. Since you just approved that new position into our district, we want to make sure and recognize it on our salary schedule, and you can see it there listed in red. So once it's approved, it will advertise it at this range, and it will be advertised that it's federally funded.
Okay. Questions or comments? Need a motion?
So moved.
Motion was made by Ms. Clark,
Second.
second by Ms. Torres. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to 7.7, discussion, consideration, and possible action to approve the extracurricular activities funded by the district.
All right, so in order for us to remain competitive with the current market, we really are making the recommendation to increase the stipend rate from $28 per hour to $40 per hour. This will ensure that the compensation is consistent and equitable. Again, really staying competitive. We're aware of the deficient amount when we compare it to other districts. Other districts are paying $40 an hour for this particular extracurricular pay for our teachers. This also brings, additional, support in that area, wanting teachers to really wanting to join after-school tutorials.
That's awesome. $40. Any questions or comments?
I have a comment. I want to thank admin for looking into this. This is really important, and I understand it's not about the money, but sometimes it helps. And this is an added responsibility to teachers that want to put the effort and wants to do that. And so I'm hoping that this will entice teachers to want to do the after school or spring school or whatever, that's needed. And I'm glad you guys looked into that, so thank you. With that said, I make a motion to approve.
Motion was made by Ms. Delgadillo,
Second?
second by Ms. Clark. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. 7.8, discussion and possible action to approve the district paid stipends FY25.
Dispensa? Or Laura?
So that's just the second, discussion for what Mrs. Duran was just talking about. So this is all of the stipends that we pay, and that's at the $40 an hour.
Did anything change from last year?
The only thing that we changed, we took off, we were paying mentor stipends out of ESSER, and as you know, ESSER is gone, so we took that off. And then we added the 21st century stipends, and I think that was it. Everything else is pretty much the same. Well, achievement was on there. That's gonna wind up coming off, I think, and in like halfway through the year, we're done with that. So we have that for like another quarter, but then that'll be done. But other than that, everything else is the same. It's just the $40 went up.
Okay. Questions or comments?
I have a question.
Ms. Delgadillo?
For the special education stipend, can you clarify for me or Ms. Garza, that stipend, is it for teachers that are in the classroom in ESS classroom, or is it anybody who has that endorsement?
Ms., can you speak on the mic so that the people at home can hear?
Good evening. The stipend is for completion of ESS paperwork and compliance, which means that you could have a dual certified teacher teaching general ed, but just because they have it, they don't get the stipend. You also can have a long-term sub teaching ESS, and because they're not allowed to complete the paperwork, they don't get the stipend. So you have to be able to complete the stipend for compliance to receive that.
So they have to be an ESS teacher in the ESS classroom? Okay.
Yes.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Any additional questions or comments? Need a motion?
So moved.
Motion was made by Ms. Clark,
Second.
second by Ms. Torres. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. 7.9, discussion and possible action to approve work calendar for FY 24-25.
So just as you heard our principals, this is an amazing group of principals, and I'm just proud to be, part of this family. I'll be honest with you. We do have the best principals in the county and beyond. I'll be honest with you. So we've been looking at a couple of things that we would like to make a recommendation to approve the updated work calendar for principals. Currently, some principals are entitled to 14 non-work pay days off annually, and we're asking for you to approve moving the principles that you have in your list in the executive content to be placed also in this particular schedule. Again, this is to make sure that we keep all of our amazing principals and also to entice, possible principals in the future.
I have a question, Mr. Duran. Will this have like a financial impact?
That's a good question. No, there isn't, and we work really closely with Ms.
No
Laura
financial
and
impact whatsoever?
Esperanza.
It's an indirect impact, because there's nothing that's coming out of the budget. The only thing to consider is the fact that the individuals will be getting paid the same amount. They will just be working less days, but there's no direct impact to the budget.
Okay.
There's no dollar for dollar loss.
And right now we have, it's not the same across the board, right?
Correct.
It's not.
And this will make it the same across the
It'll
board?
put all of our principals together on the same calendar.
Great.
Cool. Okay. Any other questions or comments? Well, no? Well, thank you for catching.
Yeah.
Thank you for bringing this up to us. Mr. Duran, everybody's gonna be the same, right?
Yes.
So, need a motion?
I make a motion to approve the work calendars as stated.
Motion was made by Ms. Torres,
Second?
second by Ms. Clark. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Moving on. Just didn't seem fair, huh?
We just want to keep all of our principals here.
So, yeah. Thank you, Mr. Little, for
No,
that.
of course, this is great news for our staff, honestly, for our team.
Good eye too on catching it. So 7.10, approval of the first reading for policy advisory number 788-791.
This is again for first approval. Ms. Kim and I were able to read through some of the recommendations. It really is about the wording in some instances. So for us, it's just recommending for you guys to do the first reading.
Okay. Any questions or comments? Need a motion?
So moved.
Motion was made by Ms. Delgadillo,
Second.
second by Ms. Torres. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. 7.11, approval of the first reading for policy advisory number 792-800.
This is the same thing, right? So it's for the first reading, with the exception of number 796, which only pertains to high school, and then for policy advisory number 797, obviously only approving the elementary portion of it.
Okay. Any questions or comments? No? Need a motion?
So move.
Motion was made by Ms. Clark,
Second.
second by Ms. Torres. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to 8.1, any recommendations for future board agenda items? No? You know what, I do have an announcement that I just want to make. We do have that upcoming law conference in September. And then we also have, I'll be sending this message out later today. The ASBA Yuma County meeting is going to take place on September 26th, and it's going to be held District 1. District 1 is going to host it this year.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'll be sending that email to you guys later. So just wanted to just share that date with you all. And, you know, maybe next year we can host it here in Somerton.
That'd be great.
You know, I wanted to just give everyone, every other district, an opportunity before. I didn't want them to play that preference card. So maybe we can host that next year.
Yep.
And that's all we have. I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion was made by Ms. Delgadillo,
Second?
second by Ms. Clark. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We're adjourned.